Well, certainly we know that the Republicans have been very critical of the way Barack Obama has conducted his foreign policy, annoyed at the way he was seen to be leading from behind in Libya, and many people don't believe he's been doing enough in Syria. Those views have certainly found a voice in Condoleezza Rice in the last couple of hours. Speaking in Ohio, she said that while Secretary of State Hillary Clinton had done a good job, she felt the administration, particularly Barack Obama, was not doing what it had to do to stop the murders in Syria. She has called on the United States now to arm the rebels. Those are controversial comments. It'll be interesting to see if she repeats them when she appears here within the next couple of hours at the Republican convention in Tampa. Certainly foreign policy hasn't featured very much in this election. The Republicans believe that it's not a great place for votes for them. They really want to concentrate on the economy. And there's always the suggestion that as you go from president to president, American foreign policy doesn't change that much. And so there's a feeling that Mitt Romney may say a lot on the campaign trail now, but if he does win and he sits behind the big desk in Pennsylvania Avenue, then his approach to foreign policy might not be that different from Barack Obama's.
The world is dangerous, destructive, chaotic.
In a campaign dominated by the economy, Mitt Romney has rarely mentioned foreign policy.
Good to be back. I appreciate it. And a busy time.
An early August visit to three key allies was regarded as a mistake-ridden failure. His most significant speech on the issue attacked Barack Obama and America's enemies.
There's no greater danger in the world today than the prospect of Ayatollahs in Tehran possessing nuclear weapons capacity. The people of Israel deserve better than what they've received from the leader of the free world. Missile defenses were sacrificed as a unilateral concession to the Russian government. If you don't want America to be the strongest nation on earth, I'm not your president.
Mitt Romney's selection of Paul Ryan as a running mate creates a ticket light on foreign policy experience. His advisors have close links to the last Bush administration, a team former Secretary of State Colin Powell describes as quite far to the right. One of the most senior is former UN Ambassador John Bolton.
Mitt Romney is not going to apologize for the United States. He's not embarrassed by the United States. He's proud of the United States. He believes in American exceptionalism, and he believes in leading from the front. And I think you'll see that difference on day one.
On Iran, Mitt Romney wants tough sanctions, warning military action may follow, the position adopted by Barack Obama. In Afghanistan, Romney wants troops out by 2014, just like the White House. Romney wants a bigger US presence in the Pacific, a key Obama policy. One observer says rarely are there huge shifts in American foreign policy.
There have been compelling reasons why two very different presidents from two different parties and two different ideological viewpoints, Bush and Obama, have chosen to use some of the same tools and some of the same methods to project American power. So my guess is that Mitt Romney would also probably make similar decisions on some of those.
The US president has more power in foreign policy than any other area, but it's not a priority for Mitt Romney, not a place where many votes are to be found. Interestingly enough, there is a video tribute to Ron Paul being shown at the moment. Interesting because his view on foreign policy differs with the mainstream of the Republican Party. Joining me now is Dr. Jason Johnson, an old friend of Al Jazeera's. Jason, lovely to see you again.
Definitely.
How important is foreign policy going to be in this election?
It's not that important to the Republican Party because it's not an area where they can win. Look, the United States has 8.3% unemployment. That is the issue. But Mitt Romney has to say something about foreign policy, at least to a certain extent, and they're going to try and put that together tonight with Condoleezza Rice and a little bit from Paul Ryan.
Well, he's been talking about foreign policy. He's been speaking at the American Legion, a meeting of veterans as well. They're all there at the American Legion. Take a listen to what he had to say.
I came back home with an even deeper appreciation of the importance of strong ties with our allies, and with an even firmer conviction that there is a role that only America can play in the world. The United Nations is a place where nations can come and talk, but leadership that preserves peace and promotes freedom must come from the United States of America.
Jason, is Mitt Romney ready to be president? His trip that he thinks helped shape his foreign policy view was described by one magazine which normally support him as a horn-honking, floppy-shoed clown show. Is he ready to be president?
I mean, he's ready to be president of the United States, at least as far as everyone in this room is concerned, except for the Ron Paul supporters. But is he ready to be commander-in-chief, which is a slightly different role? That's what he's got to try and prove over the next 24 to 48 hours. And it's a real challenge. It's hard to prove that you can be commander-in-chief when you have never been in charge of the armed forces. Obama had that problem. Mitt Romney has that problem as well running.
Obama had the problem, but he took in Joe Biden, who was very experienced in foreign affairs. Mitt Romney's selection, Paul Ryan, we'll hear from him later, has no experience in foreign affairs.
Exactly. And that's one of the reasons why Mitt Romney has basically broken the cardinal rule of the Republican Party since 2008, which is remember the Bush administration. He literally has to trot out Condoleezza Rice tonight in order to give some backbone to foreign policy for the Republican Party. So it's a really dangerous game he's playing. He's focused entirely on the economy and nothing on foreign policy.
Is there echoes of the Bush foreign policy in Mitt Romney, in that he's talking about American strength, American power, rather than Obama's approach, which seems to be more diplomatic, more getting countries to work together to a common goal?
Well, here's the challenge. Let's say Mitt Romney becomes president of the United States. He's still got a Republican-controlled Congress that is extremely unhappy with American spending. He will be as, if not more, constrained in foreign policy than Barack Obama because the U.S. does not have the money to continue in any of the adventures that we're engaging in now. So I think he's going to speak a lot about aggression, sort of hint at the Bush policy, but we can't afford it anymore, and Romney knows it.
Jason, as always, a real pleasure. Thanks very much for joining us live here in Tampa.